Senator Godswill Akpabio is in serious problem again. Senator Akpabio has found himself in another legal issue after what happened in the Senate House of Nigeria. Nigeria is in West Africa. Of what happened in Nigeria few days ago. In fact, yesterday, here in Noble Media, we are bringing you this fresh information because we believe that knowledge is power. So let us give you the details of what is happening, what is currently going on between this Senator Natasha Akpoti and Senator Godswill Akpabio, because they are heading back to the appeal court. So just settle down. This is our business now in Noble Media. If you have not subscribed, kindly click on subscribe right now. Now, Natasha heads to court after Senate blockade faults Akpabio. Let's move on. The suspended senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti, has vowed to drag the leadership of the Senate before the appellate court after she was barred, she was prevented from accessing the National Assembly complex on Tuesday. After she was prevented from entering the nation, that's 22nd, she decided that she will drag Akpabio to appeal court. A fuming Akpoti, and that's the female senator, told journalists that she would consult her legal team immediately to kickstart the process, stating that it was a violation of the recent judgment calling for her reinstatement. You know, in the country, Nigeria, and in most third world nations, we have seen that most of the time, court judgments are not followed. The court could say, go left, and the government will decide to go right. Of course, you know that Akpabio is the Senate President of Nigeria, the number 3 man in Nigeria. So perhaps that is why court judgment that is not favorable to him is not being obeyed. The decision came after she was denied entry to the National Assembly despite a court order that faulted the long suspension slammed on her. The Senate, led by Akpabio, suspended this democratically elected senator, suspending her from her duties representing Kogi Central in the Senate. The embattled senator also questioned the basis for her initial suspension, saying even the suspension ab initio was fraudulent. It was faulty. That how can an elected senator be suspended by another elected senator in the Senate? Okay, if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly click on subscribe and also join on her next line of action, because after what happened on Tuesday when she was prevented, journalists now ask her, what is your next line of action? This is what she said. On her next line of action, she said, going forward, I will have a meeting with my legal team so that they can proceed with the appellate court, that is Court of Appeal, to seek interpretation of what just happened. I am a law-abiding citizen. Akpoti also condemned the Senate's action, calling it an act of contempt of court by the Senate under its president, Godswill Akpabio. We must now move on. She said, Akpabio cannot be greater than the Nigerian constitution, but oftentimes we see certain politicians, certain wealthy men that transcend the constitution, that supersedes or becomes greater, individuals that are bigger than institution. I want Nigerians to know that the office of the Senate President doesn't give me legitimacy as a senator. Your legitimacy as a senator doesn't come from the Senate. It came from the people, from Kogi Central, Nigerians that decided to elect her. The fact that he has gone on appeal does not invalidate the decision of Justice Binta Iyako, and that does not stop me from being a senator. I got my legitimacy as a senator from the people of Kogi. Kogi is one of the 36 states in Nigeria who voted me into office as a senator. We must now continue. That I have been denied entrance to the National Assembly is a statement being made. It is on record that the National Assembly under Akpabio has decided to be in contempt of a court decision, which is a crime. And it's quite ironic that there are lawmakers. I mean, lawmakers should be people that are law-abiding to the letter. That poses the question, how far is our democracy in this day and age? The lawmaker had earlier stormed the National Assembly as her supporters converged at the entrance to await her. Let's move on. There was also an unusual security build-up at the gate of the complex, with still-looking operatives searching cars and restricting visitors to the car park outside the parliament. Because she was coming, operatives like security people began to search people's cars, like what normally happens in Nigeria, where innocent travelers are being harassed by policemen, told to bring money. If you are carrying a Lexus, a Mercedes Benz, if you are on dreadlocks, you're already in trouble. Things that doesn't necessarily make you a criminal, but the way they will handle most Nigerians is just painful. No fewer than 5 police patrol vehicles were stationed at a strategic area at the entrance of the National Assembly complex, because a lady, a woman, an elected senator was coming to perform her job, the job for which her people elected her. Look at the kind of security that was positioned to prevent her from entering. Akpoti Duaran later arrived at the company of social activist and convener of the Bring Back Our Girls movement, Aisha Yusufu. Everybody knows Aisha Yusufu. But the still-looking operatives at the complex prevented them from accessing the parliament. Okay? During the confrontation that issued, Yusufu condemned what she described as the unconstitutional action of the police, reminding them that they too could one day need the solidarity of the same citizens that they were repressing. Remember that a few days ago, just yesterday, Sowore, an activist, also went around Abuja and some major cities for the police, that the government should pay retired police officers. So why do the police allow themselves to be used to manhandle fellow Nigerians? The same fellow Nigerians that are requesting for better package for the police. One day you will be on the streets as a retired person, begging the same people you oppressed to protest on your behalf. Piqued by the obstruction, the activists challenge officers to reflect on their roles in national building and the future of their next generation. Many of these politicians, many of these people that see themselves above the law, like the law enforcement, that doesn't mean that every one of them is bad, but majority, why don't they think about tomorrow? Why don't they think about the future of Nigeria? Why do they normally think that the nation belongs to them? This is a factor we see recurring in most third world nations. At this age, is this what you want to be doing? Is this the Nigeria you want for your children? You are destroying the future of your own children. Yusufu, that is Aisha Yusufu. Everyone knows that she is a very vocal activist. She also accused the police of lacking the courage to disclose who ordered them to block access to the assembly, because the police did not disclose who actually ordered them, gave the order. We respect the law, but that does not mean we are cowards. This is the National Assembly. It belongs to all Nigerians. You are blocking people and can't even say who sent you. Are you proud of that? This is what she's asking the police. I'm sure the Nigerian police are not proud of many things they do. She further slammed the police as a shameless willing tool of oppression, referencing a recent protest in support of police welfare that was ironically dispersed by police officers themselves. Protesters, that is Sowore and some protesters, were protesting for welfare of the police. It was the same policemen that were sent by politicians to go and disperse those people protesting. What an irony. As of the time of filing this report, the Senate leadership had not issued any statement on what happened on Tuesday. 2 days ago, the Senate earlier stated that it stood by its earlier decision to bar the senator from the chamber, that's Senator Natasha, until the expiration of her suspension. I think she was given a 6 months suspension. For what? The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adaramodu, on Sunday reaffirmed the Senate's position, warning that there was no legal directive compelling her immediate recall. But the Kogi senator argued that while her suspension didn't stop her from executing constituency projects, it had obstructed her ability to carry out vital legislative functions like sponsoring bills and moving motion, because you need to be in the House in order to fully represent your people. Backing her stance, her lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, West Idahosa, maintained that the court judgment justified her return. Let me be honest with you, attendance is a legislative action. As far as we are concerned, we are focused on the appeal and other issues before the court. Let's move on. I think the decision to go back to the Senate will be determined by the constituent. Now that she says she wants to go and resume, let us see what the reaction of the Senate will be. But the most important thing is that she is still a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he said in a phone interview. That's when journalists interviewed him. Akpoti Iduaran had been suspended for 6 months by the Senate, Nigerian Senate, following her actions over the seating arrangement. She was not comfortable with the way her position was moved, even without her knowledge. However, a ruling by Justice Iyako of the Federal High Court nullified her suspension. Remember, the Federal High Court said that the way she was suspended was illegal. So the court nullified that ruling, leading Akpoti Iduaran to declare her intent to resume her legislative responsibilities. I hope you are following. Lawyer faults Natasha. Now there is a lawyer that has found fault in the way Natasha is handling this whole matter. Let's look at it. Senior lawyer Ken Harris criticized the suspended senator for attempting to enforce a judgment she had already appealed, describing her action as an attempt to eat her cake and say have it. Harris made the remarks in a statement on Tuesday while reacting to Akpoti Iduaran's presence at the National Assembly on Tuesday. This is another side of the matter. He questioned whether her conduct, which he termed taking the law into her own hands, was an appropriate or lawful way to enforce a court ruling. In all my years of legal practice, I have never seen such a blatant display of lawlessness from someone who is supposed to be a federal lawmaker. We must now move on. How do you storm the National Assembly with a group of partisans under the guise of enforcing a judgment? There are proper legal procedures for enforcing court judgments. It is not for individuals to create a crisis atmosphere and claim they are enforcing the law, the lawyer said. Harris pointed out that Akpoti Iduaran, that's Natasha, had already filed an appeal against the same judgment about a week earlier, in which she challenged its validity and asked the Court of Appeal to overturn it. He questioned the logic of her actions. How can you seek to enforce a judgment you have openly rejected, appealed against, and asked to be set aside? Even if the judgment was still valid and enforceable, has she complied with all the orders contained in it, including the payment of 5 million naira and a public apology published in 2 newspapers and on her Facebook page? Okay, this is a developing story. Of course, you can trust us here in Noble Media because we see that this matter is far from being over. We will keep bringing you this news, this information, these updates going on right now in Nigeria as they break. If you have not joined, please click on join to be a full member of our channel, and also click on subscribe to get updates whenever we post. If she had failed to obey those aspects of the judgment, on what moral ground does she accuse the Senate leadership of lawlessness? Harris asked. He concluded by urging her legal team to properly advise her on upholding the rule of law. Anyone who seeks equity must come with clean hands, the lawyer said. Efforts to reach the suspended senator's aide and legal counsel to clarify her next moves were, however, unsuccessful. Efforts to reach the suspended senator's aide, that is Natasha's aide, and legal counsel to clarify her next moves were, however, unsuccessful. Okay? As at the time of filing this story, they could not be reached by phone. This is where this matter is right now. We believe that in the coming hours, we'll be monitoring here. Our correspondent here in Noble Media will be monitoring the situation. As soon as we get any shift, any development in this, trust us to be the first to bring it to you here in Noble Media, because we believe in bringing out the truth. Truth is power. The more people know what is happening, the more they can make informed decisions as good citizens, whether they are in Morocco, in Gambia, in Senegal, in Nigeria, in Cameroon, any part of the world, in Asia, any part of the world. We believe in standing for justice and bringing you authentic information. There is an important video on the screen. Click on it and watch. Remember to please share this video. Click on share. If you have not liked this video, click on like this video, share this video, copy the link, share it on Facebook, share it on WhatsApp groups, share the link across both to your followers, to your fans, to your friends, to everyone. Remember not to forget to subscribe and to join. There's an important video on the screen. Click on it and watch